Hey everyone, Margarita here. Today is Monday, March 10th, I believe, 2025. Now, there's been an ongoing spill caused by Ford Motor Company here again in Flatrock, Michigan, where my house sits. It happened about 6 weeks ago. However, it was very cold in the beginning, so it took a couple weeks for the particles to start to raise up out of the sewer system. When it spills into the sewer system. That's where it spreads through. That's where it eventually, that's how it gets gotten rid of over time. It spreads everywhere through the sewer system. And then I believe some of it naturally goes into the waterways, but if they flush, then they definitely flush it into the waterways as well. So what's been going on is I did make one call to the city last week. I probably will make another phone call tomorrow. I have a lot of things on my plate. I have a deranged mother in the background who's been committing crimes for decades. And she's done some pretty malicious things, and her odd behavior is, I believe it's starting to become known to the facility where my dad has been at for the last 2 years, which is Special Tree Spinal Care Facility in Romulus, Michigan. Now, I've been banned from there since last April due to the ongoing crimes. And the facility there, Special Tree, has participated in the crimes and the harassment and the defamation of character and slander and everything that she somehow gains control over the false narrative with people at different places. And these people all believe my mother with no questions asked, no looking into anything. And we have never had a relationship my entire life. And I've been completely separate from my parents since I was 18, and I'm now 41. So she doesn't know anything about me. All of these people just believe whatever she says all the time. And so there's an ongoing issue with that. And I do believe it's about to blow because she has committed many, many crimes. And I have proof of quite a few of them. However, due to her crimes, I'm living in extreme chaos. I've been for a very long time. And due to that chaos and her crimes, I was forced away from my home. She played a role in when Ford Motor Companies did their first gas spill in 2021. She made sure I got my hotel cut off. She inserted herself in it, called to the top, got all these people involved, telling all these people delusions about me, which then in turn caused me to put somebody in the home for about a little over a year, and those people destroyed the entire home after it was just remodeled, causing over 100 grand in damage. So I'm still dealing with the fallout of the damage up to the home, and I've been working on the home for about 14 months now. And I'm still fighting with the insurance company on the remaining funds to fix everything. It's a lot. This house is 3,000 square feet with the basement. It's very big. I'm one small person, and I'm very sick. Now, all of that had caused me to stop doing my other forms of employment at the same time because I'm so sick I can only do so much. And I had to get the house under control to a certain degree because a large amount of mold had taken over due to the fact that they tried to hide the damage. So that did have to be addressed. I took most of the year off work last year, and I'm still dealing with that. So all of my mother's crimes piggyback off the last batch of crimes, and everything blends together, and the chaos in my life due to all these crimes and the chaos, it piggybacks off each other and it snowballs and it keeps on going. There's never any end to it. This has been going on for technically decades, but truly since I've been extremely sick since the beginning of 2018. That's when it just fully took over because I stayed so severely injured and sick without help, without treatment, which was also my mother's doing as a Beaumont Hospital employee for 45 years. She played a role in making sure my son and I did not get treatment. So the ongoing effects of that is still ongoing, and that's why we're patients at a private center, self-pay. All of these factors, all these issues stem back to my mother's crimes. And now Ford has spilled again. And there's more than what I just said. There's way more than that. But I'm trying to get everything under control. And Ford spilled again. They spilled 6 months ago. They spilled again. I'm very sick from this spill. I think I'm gonna throw up. I did call the city, got nowhere. They did flush down the road. I don't know if they actually flushed in Flatrock, but they did flush in Brownstown. I caught that on film. So I'll be posting those videos. I'm very sick. My brain tissue is open. I feel every breath of all the particles go through. If it's not zero, those particles go right through my brain tissue that's open and load up in my system and load into my cells because that's all open. That's the filter that protects things from getting in. And due to that, so it's loading. I can feel every breath of gas. That no room in my house is clear currently. I have 2 rooms that are significantly more clear than the rest. I have an air scrubber. I have tarps on the windows. And it's still not clear enough, and there isn't a clear room in here. So I'm taking in every breath. It's loading up into all of my cells that are already overloaded with carbon monoxide. And I live with severe waxing and waning nausea as well. So I'm actually smoking weed right now. I have to smoke a lot of weed at times due to the fact that I have ongoing severe waves of nausea. And when there's spills and issues like that, that's what I have to do. I don't really have a choice. That's the only thing that really calms it down. I do drink kombucha that has the ones with the ginger in it seem to settle my stomach some, or sometimes I'll get like a Pepsi or a Coke or something. That does help if there's no kombucha, or it depends on what I have available to me and if I'm able to travel out and about to get what I need. Sometimes I can't. So I do have to buy things in bulk due to my condition and not being able to go places, sometimes having a shelter in place. But I'm very sick and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So I just wanted to film this, like while I'm smoking weed. Weed is non-toxic. It's not carbon monoxide in the manner in which cigarettes are, or in the manner in which stuff comes off of a stove or a car. It's not the same thing. It's non-toxic. It does not add to the condition that I have. You know, as long as I'm not like filling large amounts of it in my home. Which hasn't really been happening. I haven't really been smoking a lot of it, but I'm starting to overload with Ford's most recent gas bill, and it's making me very sick. They're trying to say they don't have to clean it, that it's EPA's level, excuse me, EPA's level of all clear. No, it's not actually EPA's level of all clear, and on top of that, my home, I'm required to be in a sterile environment, and it has to be 0, and I'm like, so what, you just think that you get to control if I get to live or not? Because what's going to happen eventually is if I take in enough particles, I'm not going to wake up one day. It's going to load up. If I don't remove it, I have multiple ways of removing it. And right now I'm not treating, so it makes it a lot harder. What'll happen is enough will load up in my system and my cells, and I just won't wake up one day. Or I'll fall out standing again and I'll just be dead. So, you know, I don't normally do videos where I'm smoking weed, but I feel really sick, and I want to get it on film that I'm this sick because I'm about to throw up. And it's not fun living this way. I lived this way solidly for 3 years with no relief from the nausea. Every day, extreme nausea. Like the beginning of a pregnancy, but you stay that way for years on end. So it has, you know, it still goes on. It went on beyond that 3 years, but it's more so waxing and waning, or there's days where that's not really the case. Or it could be like weeks or even a couple months even. But once I take in enough particles and I haven't had treatment, it loads in my system and my cells. And that's the result, because I'm overloaded with toxic gases. And the result is me throwing up. Normally I just have nausea, but I actually think I'm going to throw up this time. And my son normally vomits. He does all the time when he gets exposure. So he did last week while I was on the phone with the city. And I do need to call again. I am what you would consider a severe medical marijuana patient. I'm an actual medical marijuana patient. My condition and what I deal with is what that stuff is for. So then I have a lot of people who place judgment on me, or they talk a lot of shit. Or while I was working still, at one point, you know, some years ago, I had some people, because I was working in Ohio, the laws are a little bit different there. Not quite, you know, it's not 0, but they do have medical there. And I would have to take a certain type of vapor pen, like a pure weed pen. It can't have any flavor or any particles of any kind in it. There was very few that have that. I had to take that with me in order to get through work. I had to eat Rick Simpson oil in order to get through work, or I wasn't going to be working at all, and I was barely getting there and back anyway. So there was people who would judge me, and you know, they were system trained and taught that that's bad, or, oh, you're high, and I knew you were high. Like, no, I'm sick. I'm chronically sick. I'm barely keeping us alive. I'm paying out of pocket for treatment. I'm here working. I'm making my money. There's, you know, it's allowed there. It's not an issue. So these are just people placing judgment on me based on what they think I look like, or what they think they see, or whatever. You know, oh, I knew you're high. No, like, I'm sick. I'm chronically sick. I live with severe waves of nausea. It is very hard to do what I do and how I make my money living in the condition that I'm in, especially with that much nausea and the way my brain there was about 3 inches of space between my brain and my skull for 3 years. As I was going through treatment, that slowly started to seal and heal. It's still open in the front. There's not inches of space anymore. But living that way and trying to make money is extremely, extremely difficult. But currently I don't feel very good. And I just want to get it on film. Like, I could really fall out at any moment, because I don't know the degree of what has spilled, how much exactly. It's quite a bit, I know that. And they're not trying to clean it, nor do they care. They're legitimately waiting for me to die in my home. So if I'm found dead and I actually don't make it out of this, it is their fault. They are 100% at fault for what comes out of that if I do not make it out of this. But I'm very sick. I'm trying to crank out these videos. I'm trying to get my story out there, because what I plan on doing is releasing what the city's been doing, and telling the world what they've been doing and what's happened to me due to their actions and their crimes. These are RICO crimes at this point, because my mother's involved. It is a large organization, large agencies are involved. The whole city of Flatrock, all of Ford Motor Company, those are RICO crimes. This is intentional. This is how I'm forced to live. And they just believe that they also believe my mother's delusions, that I actually don't have a medical condition. And because I never provided documentation from that initial, I couldn't get the documentation. They wanted me to provide documentation when I had just switched primary doctors who, they weren't aware of how severe my condition was at that time. It takes time for someone to actually see. So it's not really explainable, especially with the way I look. It was really hard to get someone to understand once I did switch doctors, and that was right when that happened, so I never produced the documents. So they really believe that I'm just making all of this up. But how could I be making it up if I can feel where the particles are, and then I'm calling and I'm telling you where they're at? And then, the next day or two, you send trucks out to flush, and fire trucks everywhere, and there was a fire. So that means it is that high. I was correct, and that means, how would I know that if I'm not as sick as I say I am? So I am going to release all those videos. I don't even know if I'm actually going to release this video. I just want to catch it in case I don't make it out of this, that this is what's going on. This is the state I'm living in. I'm trying to get everything together from each batch of crimes, so that way I can either get the home. This home was supposed to be an Airbnb years ago, but due to all the crimes and the chaos and everything going on, it still has not happened. So now I can't even get myself to a safe area, to a safe place to breathe, because it has blanketed the entire area many miles out at this point. I'm not sure exactly how far. I haven't traveled too far, but it is out there. It's definitely where my house is. I definitely am going to have to move permanently, whether I keep the home in my possession or I sell it. I'd like to keep it as the Airbnb, because that was my plan a long time ago. This house should have already been producing money. I should already be retired from all my other forms of income. Well, except for these videos, because that's like my main, my main thing right now. That's what I'm working on. But everything else should be put to rest, and this house should be flowing a certain amount of money per month, and it should be enough. I know it will be enough. It'll be enough to like maintain our lifestyles for the rest of our life, for the rest of my life, and have a good source of income without, there shouldn't be any hiccups along the way. Nobody's going to stay in it long enough to cause significant damage to what had happened before. That wouldn't be happening again. And I wouldn't be going away from it for that long. I would definitely be checking on it more often. So, this house should be producing enough income for me to be completely retired, even if I wasn't making videos. So, that's my situation right now. I'm trying to get it all in order. And then with my mom and the situation brewing in the background, that could blow at any second. So that's also going to play a role in the outcome of everything going on, because I am an only child, and I do have 2 adult children, but they're not like mentally where I was at their ages. I was way ahead because I had to be on my own at a very young age with no help. So they're not like in that boat. So they're not kind of like where I was, although they are kind of a good backup system in a sense. They're also manipulated and brainwashed to some degree. So they are involved, but when it comes to my parents and the finances and my dad's care going forward and everything going on in that situation, I would be next on the list. However, those people believe that I have a mental disorder and a drug problem, possibly, or I'm some broke loser who doesn't have a home or something. I don't know what she's told these people. It's something. And so I don't know if they believed that I would be capable of taking care of him, even though they saw me there every day for 15 months taking care of him. So I don't know how that's all going to go. And I've already made police reports in advance, and the police are involved in the crimes at this point because they're not investigating or doing anything about any of the crimes that are happening in their city. Same with the facility, special treat employees, they're all involved, everybody. So I don't really know what to do. It is all gonna blow. I have all this stuff on my plate. I am trying to get everything in order. And I actually need to like dye my gray roots. Like, this is my natural hair color. However, I have gray hair. I've had for a long time. So I put natural powder in it because I can't have chemicals of any kind. But I have this natural powder and it keeps it my natural color. It just blends the gray in with my natural hair. And I've never wear makeup. Like, I don't even have time. Even if I did wear makeup, I would have had to stop once I became injured. I don't wear makeup ever. You know, sometimes I'll put a little like colored eye pencil on or something, or a little lipstick or chapstick usually. But that's just how I live my life. You know, I've always been that way. And it's kind of funny when I get to the later parts of how I make my money and everything else in that department. It's going to be really funny when I'm saying I don't actually wear makeup, and I never did the whole time. It's going to be really funny. I have a lot more to talk about in the future. I just need to get the baseline of the base situations, the most extreme situations, the most urgent situations. I'm trying to get that out first. I'll go back and elaborate more on everything else along the way. But this series is going to be very in-depth. There's so many things going on, so many crimes. There's so much to my situation. My entire life has been a movie, to the point where I was unable to film it. It was that extreme. So I've just now been getting to film the last 9 months or so. And it's because of the extreme chaos and the amount of sickness I live with, and how unwell I am, mixed with the ongoing crimes. I do think my mother's situation is about to blow at any second. It very well could be. So I want to make sure, it's probably going to be all over the news. And that's also why I want to have all these videos uploaded before it blows, because then I can point people right to my channel so you can understand everything that's actually been going on. So I want to have myself together in case that all happens. I know it's going to be publicized and televised. So I ordered some clothes. Like, I haven't been able to really leave, but I ordered some clothes online just to have like nicer, newer clothes to have on, like in the event I have to run off and show up at the facility where my dad is and the whole news crews are there. All these news crews are probably going to be there. I don't doubt it for 2 seconds. So I have a feeling, plus I'm filming, so I don't have any like nice clothes really. I mean, I do, because I have clothes that I saved for years, but I've been remodeling basically for about 4.5 years at this point, doing the home, and then I had to do my other home that I moved to in Ohio, and now I have to redo this home. So along the way, I've pretty much been working on the home, kind of ruining my clothes along the way, and that's all I've been wearing because that's what I've been doing. So you know, I had to like buy some extra clothes just in case like this all goes viral or this all gets on TV, and then I don't want to show up looking the way I do right now, you know. But I did order some clothes. I have those on standby. I need to get my roots done because it looks like kind of ridiculous. I just don't give a fuck. That's how I feel about it. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been through more than most people would go through in 10 lifetimes in my one lifetime, and I'm only 41. So I've been in extreme chaos, living in survival mode my entire life. It's really amazing that I don't have a mental disorder and a drug problem. So if you watch everything, watch my channel, watch everything I've been through, it's actually a miraculous type of thing that's never happened to me. Now I'm not saying I've never, ever done a drug in my life. That's not like at all what I'm saying. But there's a difference between having a drug problem and having a good time once in a great while. But I spent my entire life working due to all of, you know, my mother's actions, the crimes running in the background. That's been ongoing my whole life. I spent the majority of my time working. So that's what I was doing. I was addicted to money. Money was my my thing. So, and especially when it's made in cash, it makes you higher type thing. But I mostly just smoke weed. That's it. Like, I barely drink. And I don't feel good. I really feel like I'm going to throw up. So I just want to like catch this on film. And you'll probably never see me do another video where I'm smoking weed. Unless I'm just really sick trying to catch something on film where there's another spill or something, you know. But I don't feel good at all. And this tends to help, so maybe I won't throw up now that I smoke some weed. But it's bad. Like, the nausea is really bad. So I just want to be prepared, trying to get everything in order from all the chaos and each crime and batch of disasters along the way that are all piggybacking off each other. The fallout from each one of those is ongoing. So that's what I'm trying to, and it never, so because it never stops and it's just ongoing, and all these large agencies are involved in helping. I'm one small person fighting against 20 large agencies. So I need to I need help. I have a GoFundMe down in the description box. I need treatment. I'm out of funds to keep treating. I've spent everything I've ever worked for keeping us alive. And I'm considered permanently disabled, permanently injured. And so my income has to change, and it's being stopped due to these crimes and these actions. So there's nothing I can do about it. But I do have a GoFundMe in the link. There's a link in the box below. And there is an email address if people are having problems with carbon monoxide and they're not sure how to get treatment. I did put an email address in there for people to contact me. And then what's the other thing? Oh, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, because there's a lot to everything I'm talking about and what's going to come out of this, and where it's all going, what everything that I've been through along the way. I'm going to be separating each thing into its own category because there's just so much. A regular person would never be able to comprehend anything I'm talking about or what I've actually been through or what my life is actually like. So that's why I've done that, because there isn't another person out here living this way. And you'll see as time goes on. I know I've got about 30 some videos right now, almost 40. I'll probably have 40 up by the end of the day, 40 something. But there's a lot more to it, and I'm just getting started. So there is about 1,000 more videos I need to film, if not more. Someone really needs to make this into a movie. It is that extreme, and it's not done playing out. So I do believe it's about to blow in one direction or another. And when that blows, so that could be, today, it could be in 2 weeks, a month, and it could be next year. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a year, but it's gonna significantly change where I'm going in my life and the things that I have to take care of going forward and how I'm making my money going forward, because I would be next on the list to take care of my dad. Really, he should have been in my custody the entire time. Even though I'm chronically sick and permanently injured, I'm still a better candidate than my mother. I was managing to do all that work and getting to him every night, making sure he had clean food every night, because she was poisoning his food every evening. So that will be its own batch of episodes: the Munchausen by proxy, the poisoning of the food, the results of that, the agency reporting, the lies, the delusions. No one's aware any of this is going on. So I'm about to blow the lid off of it if she doesn't do it first. So and then I'm going to blow the lid off the Ford thing. So that's got to come out immediately because it's making me very sick. So I will be back with another one. Just wanted to catch this all on film. Thanks. Bye.